With me right now on the line, WCW superstar, Buff Bagwell. Buff, how's it going, man?
I like that intro. WCW superstar. Oh, that's so good.
Buff, thanks for joining me, man.
Classic. How about WCW wrestler?
Buff, you're a superstar, man.
Well, I mean, we know that. It just seems to be the company don't know that.
Well, this coming Sunday night, WCW's going to be holding their annual Starrcade pay-per-view, and you're presently not listed in any matches on the card. Are you going to be in attendance?
I'll be there. The big surprise.
Can you maybe give us some insight as to what kind of role you might be playing?
No, I would, but I give is going to give it away. So I'll be there, and it'll be, somewhat of a road that I'm going to continue down after this. So just watch and check it out.
Now, rumors have been flying around for the longest time that yourself and many others have been looking to leave WCW to go and work for the WWF, given all the talk that the company is in the process of being sold.
Well, first of all, I want to know who else that Vince McMahon would even want.
From WCW?
I'm not talking about because I'm good. Forget that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm going to the point of, if you really look at our roster of the guys that we're using, and you're Vince McMahon, you're doing 5-0s, who would you really consider in this company? It's a very low list. So when you say, and others, I got to chuckle because it's a little funny to me, because I would be blessed if he even wanted to talk to me. But my point is, I don't know anybody here but about 5 guys that Vince would even consider even talking to.
So you haven't met with WWF officials yet otherwise?
I met with WWF about a year ago.
Okay.
And the rumors are real simple. I want to stay here. The company, is in a lot of trouble right now. But my heart's here, it really is. My heart is here. I think right now that Vince, like we all know, is an incredible boss. He knows what's going on. Mm-hmm. And how I always describe this is real simple. If Ted Turner knew about wrestling, we would be competitive to them. The problem here is Ted gives the money to other guys, and they run the company, so you lose a little bit of gusto is the word I'm going to use. It's not quite as impactful. I describe it like when your father bought your first car for you, and you took good care of it, right? Mm-hmm. You really did. You tried to take care of it. But when you bought your own car, you really took care of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with this company, that's the situation. It's like it's Vince's money, but it's not Russo's money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Bischoff's money. It's not my money. Nobody's to blame there. It's just human nature. When it's not your money, okay, we did a 3-0, big deal, But when it's your money, then it's a big deal. That's why Vince is involved in everything.
Now, can you maybe comment on how much longer you still have with your current deal with WCW?
March.
March, okay.
Yeah.
So you're looking to re-sign right now?
They told me flat out they don't have the money. They know that even mathematically, even if they give me a slap in the face raise, it's going to be a bunch of money. Just because I've been here so long, And so they have 2 options. Let him go, and let's try to rebuild, which they've been trying to do, I think, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or, God, if we're going to keep the company, we do need him. He's young, and we could use him, So, long story short, I've talked to both companies, and the doors are open in both companies. The problem is there's so many rumors about, like, Eric coming back. New bosses, new this, new that. It's just I got to kind of wait it out and see what happens,
Now, switching gears, it wasn't all too long ago that you were suspended from WCW and formally charged as a result of a backstage incident. I wanted to know if you can maybe take us back and give us your side of the story.
I really can't talk about that. It's in litigation. It was just a confrontation backstage that got violent, and the guy is suing me and the company.
Okay. Recently you were a guest on Dave Meltzer's audio show where you made some comments about general erection that were apparently not taken too lightly by
I was on who?
Back. What was that?
What show was on?
With Dave Meltzer.
I never talked to Dave Meltzer in my life.
You didn't make any comments about Hugh Morrison?
I made a bunch of comments, but I was not ever on Dave Meltzer's show.
Okay.
I was on it was a newspaper guy named something Alvarez.
I think he works for Dave Meltzer, actually.
Well, that's fine, but then let's get the name straight then.
Okay.
I'm not being an asshole, but I'm just saying I'm not a big Dave Meltzer fan, and that's nothing personal. I don't dislike him. I just, in my 10 years of this business, I have picked up one of his sheets 0 times. Not because of what he does, because I just don't give a shit about it. I'm out there to do the best I can to entertain the people and give the people what they want. All the guys backstage that are reading those things are guys praying and hoping to get a chance to be a star, and that just bothers me. It bothers me that people are that weak to actually look at what a guy's going to write about him and think that, oh, God, Dave Meltzer said I only had a 2-star match. Oh, God. I could give a shit what Dave Meltzer says about me for 2 reasons. 1, he will never look like me. And number 2, he's never been in the ring. So how can somebody, I'm not going to dog Clinton. I'm not going to dog Al Gore because I'm not a president. So who gives him the right to dog wrestlers when the guy has never even jumped in a ring, much less thrown a baseball or thrown a football? That bothers me.
Okay, well, sticking with the internet for a moment then, as I'm recalling in the past, you used to have an official website. Do you have anything new in the works at this time? Or what happened to your old website, for that matter?
Let's finish the Hugh Morris thing.
Okay, well, with the article that you did, your interview about general erection, for those that don't know, maybe can you first mention maybe what you said about Hugh?
I'll sum it up with this right here. When you go as close to telling the truth as I did and said things that everybody else is thinking, but they're just too scared to say it, somebody's going to get hurt. And I'm not sure if you've been in that position before to know that. But no matter what you do, if you go out and you're going to, by God, tell them how you feel, it's going to come out, somebody's going down. And it just accidentally happened to be Hugh. And I explained it to Hugh. We've talked about it, and we shook hands, and it was nothing personal. And when you hear it, it's very personal. But it really wasn't meant that way. If I would have picked Hugh's name out, then that's personal. But during the conversation, as I'm driving 90 miles an hour on the way to the airport, in traffic, trying to catch a plane, and I'm talking to this guy, and you say things, when they come back and you reread them, it just comes back a little stronger than you meant it for it to sound. And basically what happened is he asked me, I was talking about, guys like myself and Lugers and Dallas Pages sitting at home. And I started talking about Lugers that were, like Lex Luger that is, getting beaten house shows. And the guy asked me, he said, well who's beat Lex Luger? I said, well, like Hugh Morris. He said, well, what do you feel about him? And I'm not going to repeat what I said, but it's already out there, and I said it, and it was a mistake. And what I said is I love him. I do love Hugh. I just think that how I'm going to get out of this conversation or out of this particular question is, it takes flares to make Lugers.
Mm-hmm.
It takes Lugers to make Bagwells. And it takes Bagwells to make other talent. And we've lost that somehow down the road. We thought, or I say we, I'm going to say we to be nice, we thought that we could throw all these new guys on our TV and make them stars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we found out real fast that that didn't work. You know, the stars were sitting at home and needed to be on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the point of that, but it's all resolved, and I think Hugh understood, and I explained to him the whole situation. Once I told him the whole situation, he understood. It was just me venting, and the guy caught me at the right time, and I just told him exactly how I felt.
Okay, now, I wanted to know if you can maybe take us back to 1998 and talk about a match that you had with Rick Steiner that almost completely ended your career.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly happened?
Oh, that's an old one.
Mm-hmm.
But long story short, just he went for the Bulldog, and something happened in the move, and I landed wrong, and my cervical disc at 3, 4, and 6, 7 were shoved in my spinal cord. It didn't sever it, thank God, but it what they called bruised it, not a stinger, not like a stinger. It's called bruising the spinal cord, which lasts longer than a stinger, which of course makes you think you're paralyzed for the rest of your life. So I had to go in and pull out the cervical disc at 3, 4, and 6, 7 and replace it with my hip.
Oh boy. Have you completely recovered from your injury, or
Oh yeah.
do you still feel any effects?
Some, time to time, it bothers me, but just I've been very lucky.
Now, aside from your neck, how's your health otherwise these days?
I feel great.
Very nice. How do you originally break into professional wrestling altogether in the first place?
How did I?
Yeah, how did you get all started up?
Back when I started, there was no power plant, There was a school. It was called the WCW school. I'm not sure if it was even called that. There was a school that, Jody Hamilton ran that had about 2 guys down at it,
Okay.
And one of them was Kevin Nash. And they wanted $3,000. I didn't have it, and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" And the school was just a dump, And I was like, "You gotta be shitting me, man! There's no way I'm doing this,"
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to wrestle, but I wasn't gonna go pay them $3,000 and and get beat up for every day in a bad atmosphere and driving an hour and a half from my house. And back then it was in Griffin, Georgia, is where it was located. But long story short, the Missy Hyatt gave me another guy's name, which was Steve Lawler. And his wrestler name was Steve the Brawler Lawler.
Okay.
And he trained me and at a local place here. And I started with Joe Pedicino in, I guess, 1990, maybe 89. And at North Georgia Wrestling, my name was Fabian. And then from there, Global opened up, Global Wrestling Federation, and I went out there and was the handsome stranger. From there, WCW saw me and gave me a tryout, and I was Rookie of the Year in '92 for WCW.
Now, while growing up, were there any wrestlers that you watched on television that you would say were maybe major influences for you deciding to go out, get trained, and break into the biz?
Believe it or not, didn't even cross my mind. My brothers were huge wrestling fans. Now, don't get me wrong, we watched. We did I'm a Southern boy. We did we went deer hunting, came home on Sunday, and Mama cooked the food, and we had the meal in front of us, and we watched wrestling and watched Dusty Rhodes and all the stars back then, And but as far as me being a wrestler, no, it never crossed my mind.
So had it not been for wrestling, what do you think you'd be doing nowadays for a living?
I got no idea.
Where were you headed in your life before you decided to go and get trained?
I was 20. Where were you heading?
Touche.
There you go.
So now, where'd the name Buff come from, since we all know you used to work for a while as Marcus Bagwell? Now, who came up with the name?
a couple guys, actually. Me and Dallas Page and one of our referees, Nick Patrick, was on a flight home, and NWO was just starting off, and we just thought of the name Buff, you know.
Very nice.
And it took off.
Marcus, this has been great, man. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say before I let you go?
Yeah, I just want to say that, you know, I want the fans to stick with, you know, WCW right now. You know, right now we're down. All the fingers are pointing toward, you know, Buff wanting to leave and go to New York, and that's not totally where I'm at. I may end up there. I think Vince McMahon is a genius. At the same time, WCW has asked me to at least have a chance to renegotiate my deal, and I'm going to give them that chance. So, you know, right now as we speak, I just wanted to clear that up and let everybody know that I am not re-signed. I will. My contract goes up in March, and if WCW comes to the table with even a good offer, that I'll stay. If they don't, then we'll shake hands. And after 10 years I've been here, then I'll leave and go up there to Vince. But I'm just hopeful that one of them at least will, you know, back me up and be on my side with this thing, and hopefully will give me a chance to show what I can do in the ring.